Hello everybody, it's Cap Corgi. I wanted to give an update on the Ashes of Creation situation. I played this game for 1,000 hours. I loved it dearly. And I was very sad to see it all implode just a few short days ago. And I covered it. I covered it in a very long video, so I'll definitely link that in the pinned comment below if you want to see exactly what happened in the general information of what happened in the final days leading up to the announcement of the closure of Ashes of Creation and the firing of everyone. But today we are covering an update, a full and complete update with all kinds of brand new information, some crazy information, and of course I'll be sourcing everything in the description below. So if you want to see any of these and read them for yourself, please do so. I think that is the most important way to keep yourself informed of what the actual facts are. There's a lot of misinformation going on out there. So we're going to start today with first Margaret Crone. She was the social director. She did all the social media, and she kind of like hosted the live streams of the development and stuff for Ashes of Creation, and was really good. Like she's one of the one of the faces of Ashes of Creation, and a very positive one at that. And she's been extremely open and honest and transparent about the situation of her and her friends getting fired from Ashes of Creation, and talking about exactly what happened. So she made a long post. There are two different versions in terms of one is on Twitter and one is on Reddit. I have confirmed that they are the exact same verbiage. There's no hanky-panky going on. But the Reddit has some more interesting comments because Margaret Crone does go on to, comment on, a lot of the questions asked and everything on Reddit as well. Which is very important, so you might get some extra context there. I did read through quite a few of them, just to give you guys all the information that I can. So she starts off by saying basically a little timeline of exactly what happened. So she waited until today, she says, to share this because she wanted to be sure that I was communicating from a place of clarity. Intrepid Studios was shut down in a way I did not expect. What I can share is what I experienced. On January 28th, towards the end of the workday, weirdly enough, my birthday in real life, I was informed that we would be laying off 100 developers. I was devastated. These are hardworking people who are going to lose their jobs. Still, I believed it was something we could face together and find a path forward from. It is estimated that there's over 250 developers of Ashes of Creation, it has every single one of them been fired or what's going on. The jury's still out on that, by the way, just as a complete aside. Anyways, going on. January 29th, I shared this information confidentially with my game services team. I told them that changes were coming. I did not yet know who would be affected, and that I wished I had more certainty to offer. I could not live with myself if I did not give them advance notice. These are the people who deserve to be treated like human beings. This has been confirmed by other people as well, by the way, saying that, yes, Margaret told us in advance, and so on and so forth. Anonymously, but, it has been said. Just to confirm as a secondary confirmation of what Margaret is saying here. Because some people are even accusing her of knowing and stuff. She's never struck me as that kind of person, and from her transparency throughout, all the things that I'll be sharing and am sharing right now, it seems extremely unlikely that she was involved in any hanky-panky. This seems like very much something that was done at the C-suite level. If you don't know what that means, that is the corporate level. That is like the heads. That is the board that Steven was talking about in his own post. What he didn't want to say is he's part of that board. So what that board actually is, who's involved in it, we're still trying to figure that out. Anyways, going on. On January 30th, I spoke individually each of my team members to let them know whether they were affected so they could begin planning and preparing. Those who were staying began working on ways to move forward, even though those who knew they would be leaving offered their support, showing grace, professionalism, and the strength that defined our game services team. On the 31st, we were all informed via confusing email that we would be laid off along with a warn notice. It is still shocking. The entire studio gathered to try to understand what had happened and what it meant for the future. So that started with, it's going to be a significant chunk, 100 developers, and then it moved on in a couple of days to being literally every single person at the company, at least that she knew of. And also, by the way, I do have a copy of that email. I have 2 copies, and I will, of course, be posting those and reading those out to you in just a few short moments as well. By the way, if you guys do like this kind of full and complete information, even if it's a little dense information and so on, do give this video a like and a comment. Helps me immensely. And share it with your friends. I try to give as complete information as I possibly can, whether we're just doing previews for indie games or reviews for a game that I like or something, or something way more serious like a game discussion video where we're discussing something crazy like this. Whatever it is, I try to give it my all. So if you guys do appreciate it, give it a like and a comment. On January 31st, we're all informed via a confusing email that we would be laid off along with a war notice, steel shot. Oh, sorry, I just read that. In the end, none of us were receiving our final paychecks. The 60 days notice and a pay outlined under the WARN Act, PTO payouts, or other compensation owed. This is a huge thing, guys, because this is, without a doubt, completely and utterly fucking illegal. This is illegal. This is bad news bears for anyone involved at the decision-making level of Ashes of Creation, whether it's Stephen Sharif or his brother or his husband or whatever, or some mysterious board which we cannot find out about yet. Whoever it was, this is just straight up illegal. The entire point of the WARN Act is you're supposed to give 2 months' notice, especially when it's like, basically how the WARN Act works. I work in business, for anyone who doesn't know, so I do know a little bit about these types of business level things. We do business consulting and stuff in my job. Regardless, what the WARN Act is supposed to do is give like 60-day notice, and when you do, when you're forced to issue a WARN Act, is when you're, firing a significant portion, depending on the size of your company, of your workforce, or in this case, all of it. So, there's different, like, demarcations if you have, like, under 500 employees, then if it's, like, anything above 50%, you have to issue the WARN Act. And so on and so forth. But the number is different by state. It is different by, specific company sizes and company types and everything like that. But regardless, the point is here that with the WARN Act provisions, none of them were being actually followed. With the WARN Act, you're not supposed to not pay your employees. That's really bad. Anyways, she goes on, what matters to me most now are the people, both the players and the developers. To the players, the entire development team was working extremely hard, pulling long hours and wishes with all our hearts that we could give you Ashes of Creation. There are no words to fully express how sorry we are that the journey ended this way. You should pursue a refund. You deserve it. We will go on to talk about that refund in a few short moments as well, by the way, guys, because there is news on that. To my colleagues, this team is truly a family. The culture we built together is something I've never experienced anywhere else. In the midst of heartbreak and uncertainty, we have come together to review resumes, help with portfolios, share job leads, and support one another emotionally. That says everything about who we are as a people. For hiring managers and recruiters, we will be hosting a job fair for former Intrepid Studios employees. These are extraordinary professionals who would be amazing assets to any team. If you're interested in participating, we would be deeply grateful if you would like to fill out the participation form so we can coordinate with you, and she links the form there. I wish I had better news. I wish our story had ended differently, Margaret. And I can confirm a lot of the quote retweets of Margaret, some of them are by game developers of various studios. Riot Games is one, because Riot Games is developing their own MMO, which we know literally almost nothing about, which is one reason everyone's so excited about it, including myself. And a couple of other game companies, like smaller ones, indie ones, and so on. And Margaret has been posting in every single one of those, extremely supportively, being like, yes, I can recommend blah, 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 even like talking about specific people, specific leads, and so on and so forth. So she's doing, like, her literal best here. I just wanted to point that out because I saw a lot of arrows slung towards her, and I was like, this is kind of rough, man. She goes on over here doing the exact same thing, talking about how crazy it was, how Bucky needs to get a job as well, who's like one of the main game developers at Actual Creation, because he was like responsible for a lot of really good parts of it, and so on. So that's her posts. And then it goes on. This is the email that they got. This is the actual email that Margaret refers to, the confusing email. I have two different versions of this in terms of size. It's the exact same thing, sent to two different people. And I think I can I zoom in on this? Here, let me open a new tab. Here we go. Yeah, I can zoom in on this. All right. So, first of all, it's very weird because the sender is someone named Nihil Deceit. And so there's some speculation on, is this an actual name? Is this a made-up name? Is this like a name that means something? Like a little cheeky joke done by someone who's a piece of shit? There's a lot of thought processes behind that. We don't really know. Regardless, the email goes, "Dear team, this is a difficult message to send, and we recognize how unsettling it may be to receive. By the way, there are multiple sources of this email, so it seems extremely, extremely likely that this is the actual email. Obviously, I'm getting it third party. I'm getting it via, Twitter, getting it via, like, other sources. So, my source is only that good, but I will link all of the links of this in the description below as well. Anyways, going on. Due to the company's current financial condition, Intrepid Studios is providing this notice pursuant to the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. This notice is being issued to all employees as a precautionary measure while the company evaluates next steps. At this time, no final decisions have been made regarding which positions may be impacted. A portion of the team may be asked to continue working as the company evaluates potential operational and financial alternatives. Others may be affected by a reduction in force if the company is unable to move forward in its current form. Employees who are impacted will be notified directly with additional information. With respect to compensation, payroll scheduled for February 1st, 2026 cannot be processed at this time due to the company's financial current situation. The company is reviewing its obligations and options and will share updates as soon as possible. There's a very interesting reason why this happened, by the way. We'll talk about that in a bit. Regarding benefits, the company-sponsored health insurance coverage may be affected by changes with its employee status. Information regarding benefit options, including COBRA, is expected to be provided by a plan administrator early next week. This didn't happen. This information can include timing considerations. We encourage you to review it, blah, blah, blah. We know this communication creates uncertainty and concern, especially for you and your families. While we're limited in what we can share and commit at this time, we wanted to communicate as promptly and transparently as possible. We'll continue to provide additional information as the circumstances evolve. Thank you. We do not take this moment lightly. Yeah, that's the entire thing. But there's other sources here. For example, Jamie Chaos was a large creator for Ash of the Creation, one of the main ones, and there's been some controversy with him, between him and his changing views on the game over the past year, and the CEO, Stephen Sharif. They got into some public tiffs and so on. Just wanted to give that context. But as someone who was very involved in Ashes, who had talked to many developers behind the scenes, he did share that he can confirm that this email is true, and the fact that wages and everything, like insurance and so on, ended up being withheld. He says, "I can confirm it's true and know that someone inside is firefighting to try to get everyone paid." By the way, no one got paid, but at least, according to Jamie, people were trying. This is the thing that Jamie shared. Hey guys, I and other former developers, leads, directors are firefighting right now to try to get everyone, try to get all the staff set up to get their final paychecks, continued medical coverage, etc. This isn't me speaking for the studio or other staff, and I want to circle back and say more, hopefully today, but for now, I'm trying to find and put together the words to express how grateful I am to you guys, talking to my game dev friends at other studios, they were always in awe of the community that you guys built out of your hope and passion for what Ashes could be. Regardless of whether it was for positive or negative, you can't pay for something as special as what you guys have built. And the fact that we weren't able to repay that by getting across the finish line is heartbreaking. I'm so sorry. Your guys' work and effort and passion did get us closer. You did move the needle. And you did that by going above and beyond. Thank you so much. You've been highlight of my past 2.5 years that I've been here. So it looks like this is an internal email from someone who's like, trying to work with the leads to try to get everyone paid. And from what I can tell, the actions and whatever this guy was trying to do did not end up working out. And as a result, pretty much everyone who got fired from Ashes of Creation did not get paid at all in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So that is really bad. And according to several other development leads and, anonymous people who got fired from Ashes and so on, they hadn't been paid for weeks. Some of them up to 6 weeks, which is absolutely fucking crazy. Anyways, Steven said, this is by Steven Sharif. So this is like kind of an update on what all he's said since this situation first broke last week. But he goes on. This was his original statement. This is by Icy Veins, which is fairly reputable MMO news source. But the most recent comments are by Steven. I made a public statement. My next action will be a public filing. I hope at that point people have a better understanding of what happened. Then he goes on to say, wait until there are more facts available before forming conclusions like this. He's responding to someone saying that, he's the thief, he's the cause, so on and so forth. This was in the Ashes official Discord, by the way. The internet isn't kind to patients, but unfortunately the legal process requires it. You cannot imagine how difficult it is for me to stay quiet, but I must. When filings become public, there will be a clearer factual record to reference. Now, I want to be very clear, guys. This is a tale of one or two possibilities right here. One possibility is Steven Sharif is a piece of shit, and he planned this from the get-go. And he planned this to be a final cash grab. He didn't want to pay the last cost. And he fired everyone to try to sell it to a shell company, and so on and so forth, and kind of rebirth Ashes, pun intended, in some kind of, crazy monetized version with a lot of the workforce being overseas. This is a very, very common thought process in the Ashes community, and one that I think could be likely. So this is a possibility. However, I would caution and say that this is not 100%. By any means whatsoever. There's no proof towards this really at all. There's extremely little proof that there was a board of directors that did not just include Steven and his husband. But according to people like Kira and so on that said that they have internal documents and seen him, there is some mysterious board. And this was their plan to, fire 100 people and, send Ashes over to be continuously developed in places like Indonesia and Malaysia and so on, with way, way less overhead costs in terms of people and QA staff and so on, and, kind of lower cost that way. So that is a distinct possibility, and directly that Steven was involved in this thought process. So that is one tale. The other tale is that, the board of directors did, in fact, snipe Steven out of Ashes of Creation. And as a result of that, his statements here saying that, I've done filings and, the truth will come out and blah, blah, blah. This could, in fact, be true. We don't know. What we do know is that someone fucked us over. Someone fucked all the developers over. Someone killed Ashes of Creation. Someone was a snake. Was it Steven Sharif or was it someone else? That much we do not know. And anyone who can tell you that it is 100% for sure Steven Sharif or 100% is not, frankly, is either willfully or, through ignorance, just incorrect. They're either willfully lying or just ignorant about the situation and trying their best to give a conclusion and end up giving a non-complete, non-substantiated conclusion. I'll always try to be very, very clear on what exactly we do know and what is speculation. Right now, this part is speculation. This is a possibility that Steven is innocent and, he did his best. He did get investors and he did lie about that part. That much is for sure. But are those investors, did they snipe him out of it or was he part of it? That much we do not know. So there is a possibility that he is, going to be so-called vindicated in the next few weeks by certain filings and so on and so forth. Of course, if that happens, whether it does or does not, I will cover it. I will let you guys know if there's any update on this type of situation with Steven himself. Because this one we really don't know yet, and that'll be a lot of really important information going forward for the Ashes team, for the game itself, and for a possibility that this game may or may not be completely dead. I think in the form that it is right now, it's gone. By the way, Ashes of Creation, when the servers go off, I haven't even checked if it's playable still. It might in fact be playable. It depends on when the servers, either the price. The money paid for it, either that happens and it turns off, or the servers just break and no one's there to fix it. One of the two things will break the servers permanently. And I don't know if that's happened yet. I will check probably later tonight to see can I still log in even or not. I would say it's incredibly unlikely, and if it is, frankly, there's no real point in playing anymore at all because the game is dead. No one's playing it anymore. No one's developing it anymore, and it's just kind of a sour situation. Regardless of that, if the best thing happens, and it's found that this was illegal, and someone's able to resurrect the IP and stuff, they've lost the talented developers that made Ashes of Creation what it is. And for all of its faults, and I've talked very clearly about things I love about the game and the things that are issues about the game, the developers that worked on the game will never be able to work in this capacity on the game ever again. So even if Ashes of Creation somehow flies out of nowhere and is rebirthed in some way, it will never be the same game, and whatever vision that there was for it is long dead and gone, which is extremely sad news because, the vision of the game with 64 classes and, all kinds of lore and this and that it's just never going to happen. It really just is not. Okay, anyway, some more background information on other aspects of the end of Ashes of Creation. This was a post by Jay Oddity. Ashes of Creation drama is set to explode. This was, quite recent. This is more recent than even Margaret's statements and so on. Kira implies there's huge drama surrounding the board takeover. I've not seen the Kira video, so I cannot speak to his proof or lack of, as far as I know. I personally can tell you I've not seen any proof of the board. I've not seen any proof against the board either. I can tell you that the filings that I did show in the previous video of, the owners of Ashes and so on, it does not show a board. However, it doesn't really need to in the form of those filings that I did show, the public California filings for the company. So we really don't know who this mysterious board is, but I really do hope that Kira's right and he has some real information about this, because that would crack a lot of this wide open. But anyways, it goes on. Warren legal notice shows 123 people laid off, and the reason being closure permanent. Steven claimed that they had about 250 devs. IGN was duped by a fake Discord being a new owner. I gotta look into this one. I don't really know about this one yet, but I will look into this and, make a follow-up video if I possibly can. But this one is shocking to me, man, because, IGN, dude. Games journalism is literally fucking dead in 99% of circumstances, and really, it's kind of weird and sad that the best information that you guys will find are from YouTubers and content creators like me, like Kira, like Jamie Chaos, like so many others. Bellular, it's so wild that the most viable information is by fucking YouTubers, and I say this as one of them. It's very, very, very weird. Anyways, going on with more weird things surrounding the closure of Ashes of Creation. It's crazy that there's just so much to cover with this. Richie SH, who was another content creator for Ashes of Creation, did make a post about this. It appears the company by the name of 310 Nutrition is selling Ashes of Creation branded merchandise. By the way, this is branded merchandise that was never officially actually sold towards the people who wanted to buy it all the way back then, when Ashes was alive. During the Kickstarter for Ashes and so on, these types of merchandises were promised, and no one really heard about what happened with them. Every single live stream, there would always be a question. I've watched every single live stream of Ashes of Creation. There would always be a question about merch. Merch when? Where's the link? We're looking for the merch. Where's the shirts? Where's the this? Where's that? Where's the cups? And it's kind of wild to find out that, according to this post, there is officially Ashes of Creation merch. Like right here. It is available on Amazon right now. I could technically buy this right now. This is absolutely freaking wild that this is like this is available, and it's by some like bullshit nutrition shit. But which, by the way, Stephen Sharif was before he was creating Ashes of Creation and so on, and before he made his money via stock market according to him and real estate according to him, he was part of an MLM, a multi-level marketing scheme with some bullshit nutrition products, and so this kind of goes with that. Not only that, the store that is selling on Amazon the Ashes of Creation stuff is the owner. The founder and owner of 310 Nutrition is Tim Sharif, who is the older brother of a certain Stephen Sharif. So this is a very, very, very bad sign. This is an old post according to Savo Games. Looks like he was responsible for handling the e-commerce and merch sourcing. It's weird that it's listed from his company. So he was apparently going to be the person who sourced all of this stuff, who was going to create the shirts and the merchandising and the cups and so on. And it looks like he's cash grabbing at the very end, trying to sell us, or whoever is interested, via his online store for 310 Nutrition. He's trying to sell the fucking merch for Ashes of Creation. It's right there. This is a live view. This isn't like a store page that is like an old store page. It's not internet what's it called, a repository for old pages or anything like that. This is like, I just clicked it. It's right there. And apparently there was way more, but I think like someone might have bought the older stuff or was delisted. I can't really tell. But there were some beanies, there were some hats, there was all kinds of shirts, there was a thermos. Pretty good looking thermos, by the way. Here's a little picture from 310's official website of Tim Sharif himself. This was shared by Ashes of Creation News and Updates, who is giving, by the way, some decent amount of updates for all of the craziness going on about the closure of Ashes of Creation. But yeah. This is another aspect to it, but why did Ashes close after releasing on Steam? Now, some people think that this might have been on purpose. So, according to MMO Intel MMO on Twitter, Ashes of Creation Kickstarter, which raised over $3 million all the way years ago, states, and it's right here. This is an old clipping of the page, but thank God it's over here. And finally, in the case that Ashes of Creation does not launch we promise to refund all backers in full. As the game did technically launch in early access in December on Steam, it looks like they were able to complete this this clause. Now, whether that's enough to, do a lawsuit or not, I don't know, but it definitely does muddle this stuff. And one of the other problems is that other big MMO, crash outs and cash grabs and rug pulls, they have not been able to be prosecuted in any way, shape, or form. Very bad sign for any of us that played and loved Ashes and want a proper refund, considering we did not get a full product. It looks like it will be very, very difficult for us to get a full refund. This is if we're a Kickstarter backer or someone who bought, like me, the key through Ashes of Creation's official store back at the beginning of Alpha 2 before the Steam launch. However, for the Steam launch itself, there are reports of people able to refund via Steam. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, if you go to help and you go to, I think it's Steam support, you can go here and go to any product that you have, and in this case, Ashes of Creation, and try to, get a refund for it. This is a thing that Steam has been able to do, even if you played for over 2 hours before. This is a thing that they've done for things like The Day Before, which was a huge MMO rug pull, complete bullshit game. This was a thing that they did for Mind's Eye. This is a thing that they did for, certain other games. This is a thing that is rare, though, if you're able to get it for over 2 hours. Now, one thing that I would recommend, and this is from people in my own community that have asked for refunds. This is from people in other communities that have successfully gotten refunds. When you do, try to get a refund for Ashes of Creation from Steam, which I think is the only likely way to get Ashes of Creation refund, is if you had bought it in the past 2 months since the Steam launch, is to, if you're over 2 hours of playtime, show the, you have to talk to a person. If you do the automated way of doing the refund through Steam, you won't get it. Like, there's no way they're just going to see, okay, over 2 hours, so sorry, GG's. But if you continue pressing for it and try to get it reviewed by a human being, which Steam support is able to do at some point, I'm not exactly sure if there's an easier process to get to a human besides just, asking for one or going to their Steam support website or whatever. I'm not sure if there's some specific way to do that. But when you're able to talk to a human, you can show them proof that this was a scam, that this was a rug pull, that the game is closed, and so on and so forth. And then they're more likely to give you a full refund. Now, one thing to note on this, by the way, is that Ashes of Creation is no longer listed on Steam. So it no longer has a support page, a buying a portion on Steam at all. And of course, obviously, no one likes the game anymore, overwhelmingly negative, and all the reviews are going crazy, talking about how dog shit this entire situation is. Very well deserved, by the way. This is a very, very valid crash out. Sadly, the publisher won't care because the publisher is Ashes of Creation, and, it's just not going to move the needle. It's not like a Helldivers 2 situation where the publisher is Sony and they see all the negative reviews and they start shitting broken bricks because everyone fucking hates Sony now and then they try to fix it. This is not one of those types of situations, sadly. But, I just wanted to give the full information. So I covered an absolute boatload here. I appreciate you guys for hanging out all the way to the end. I hope all this news is useful to you guys. I will give more updates as and when and how I can find it. If you guys have any questions, do let me know those in the comments below. If you have any ideas or extra information, or you're just ranting about it or whatever, do let me know any of your thoughts, and I will cover it, of course, in the next video, and try to give more context, more information, and especially any real update on if it is Steven doing this or if it's some mysterious board. Kira makes a video on it and there's some real big information let loose or whatever in that vein, especially, I will 100% be covering it. But for now, I would recommend, if you're going to leave a comment about the developers of Ashes of Creation, please do know they got screwed over. They haven't been paid since February. The costs of the servers haven't been paid since up, some of them up to 6 weeks. Sorry, not February. This is February. Some of the people have not been paid for 60 days. Some of these server costs have not been paid for 60 days. These problems at Ashes of Creation have been going on for a very, very, very long time, and for some of the members, they had not been paid for weeks, if not even over a month, or maybe even 2 months. So don't yell at developers for Ashes of Creation. The people on the ground, the game, the combat developer, Margaret herself, all of the people working on the server infrastructure, the modding and this and that, the quest designers. It's not their fault. I just wanted to make that exceptionally clear. I know there's a lot of misinfo going out there. I know there's a lot of anger. I know there's a lot of I told you so's. And I can understand that on some level. But do understand that these guys got absolutely fucking shafted. And they have pretty much no recourse until and unless there's some major class action lawsuit against Intrepid Studios and or Steven Sharif if he's found to be, the person who did it, and so on. But for now, it's kind of just sad. Like, there's all kinds of leaks going on from ex-developers showing what they were working on. Like, these are some of the augments for the 64 class system, the subclasses essentially. So there's like, the archer, and if it branched out that you were like an archer fighter, you could make like a power shot. There were some really cool ideas here that could have been really something special and really, really made a huge dent into, the MMO space. So that's us as gamers not getting this, but, them as developers, they will never be able to develop this game, and they lost weeks and months of viable work. They will not get PTO. They will not get, health insurance. They'll not get their severance pay. They'll not get anything that is afforded to a worker in the United States, which should be afforded to anyone who gets fired, and is on the regular. These guys aren't getting jack fucking shit. And that might be one of the biggest travesties and tragedies of this entire situation. Anyways, that's my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys for hanging out until the end of the video. And again, if you guys like this type of very full and complete information, give this video a like, give this channel a sub, share it with your friends. I cover everything in as much detail as possible. And of course, I like to cover a lot of good news as well. So we will be giving more updates on some upcoming indies, as I have been, reviews and gameplay and all that fun stuff as well. And thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.